Hey folks, this is Kelani. Welcome back to the Antorus raid guide for normal and heroic. This time we'll be looking at the Eonar encounter. This fight is tower defense, but in raid form. Your goal is to kill Legion demons to increase Eonar's energy so she can cast Life Force. When she casts Life Force 4 times, she will destroy the Paraxis and you will win the encounter. However, in true tower defense fashion, there's a whole bunch of demons marching towards Eonar's essence, and if they ever reach her, they'll start damaging her. If Eonar loses all of her life, you will wipe instantly, so you need to protect Eonar, destroy Legion minions, and stay alive. There's 3 pathways which lead to Eonar's essence. You can call these the upper pathway, middle pathway, and lower pathway. You'll be able to use your extra action button to glide for a brief period of time, and there are also jump pads to provide easy movement between the pathways. There's quite a variety of ads which can spawn at the beginning of these pathways which will try to make their way down to Eonar's essence, so let's have a look at those first. There's a few different small ads which don't really do anything special, but they do ignore players and endlessly march down their pathways. Fel guards are your standard small ad, they don't move that quickly and don't have too much health. Fel hounds move much faster, but they have smaller health pools. Fel lords move slower, but have higher health pools, and then we have a flying unit, the Volant Carepteron. These bats have their own little pathway in the sky and can be damaged from the middle pathway as they fly overhead. All of these ads can be slowed, stunned, knocked back, you name it, so make good use of your crowd control to keep these demons from reaching Eonar's essence. There are also big ads which serve to distract you and protect the lesser demons. The first ad is the Fel Charged Obfuscator, which cannot be tanked or crowd controlled and will run towards Eonar's essence while protecting all nearby ads with his cloak aura. While this big ad is around, you can't even target small ads, so this big ad will usually be your DPS priority. You can still slow and stun the little ads with AoE effects though, which you should be doing. The second big ad is the Fel Infused Destructor. This ad will spawn and run to a specific location near the beginning of their pathways. If not engaged in melee combat, this ad will start firing artillery at Eonar's essence, dealing a huge amount of damage. One of your tanks has to get aggro on these ads and your DPS have to destroy them before they can kill Eonar. These big ads will usually be your second DPS priority. The ad will try to cast Artillery Strike, which will deal damage to Eonar directly. You need to interrupt this every time he tries to cast it. On heroic mode, there's a third big ad called the FelPowered Purifier. This ad needs to be tanked and it provides all other ads with an immunity to all crowd control. Your tanks will need to move this ad away from any small ads on the pathway to make sure you can keep them all slowed and stunned. The big ad also has a frontal cleave, so it needs to be tanked facing away from your raid. You can kill this big ad last, as moving it away from small ads removes most of the problem this ad creates. The Paraxis is flying overhead and it's not going to make this easy. The Paraxis will deal damage to random players with its Paraxis artillery, which is unavoidable and just needs to be healed up. It will also cast Rain of Fel, which will apply a debuff to a few players which will explode after a short duration and damage anyone within 8 yards of the player. These players need to spread out from your other raid members. A good rule of thumb is for your raid to be standing in the middle of the various pathways in this area, and the debuffed players move to the edges. On heroic mode, the Praxis will also cast Spear of Doom, which creates a beam of fel fire that targets and follows a random player. The beam will also leave behind patches of fire which deal damage to players, but also increase the movement speed of any demons that walk across it by 30%. Kite this fire to the edges of the walkways to prevent the ads from getting the movement speed increase. Keep an eye on your minimap for little shard icons, they mark where your next portals will appear. Make sure you send enough players to each portal to deal with the Legion's demons effectively, making sure you take out the priority targets first and to protect Eonar's life at all costs. Eventually you will get to 3 portals spawning all at once, 1 on each pathway, so make sure you're splitting your group up effectively to deal with all of the dangers. And that's all you should need to finish the Eonar encounter on normal and heroic. Be sure to check out the other boss guides so you're well prepared for anything Antorus can throw at you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.